Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about why we are all just a little bit more depressed than usual. Well, JoJo Siwa disappeared off the face of the earth for a few weeks now, but she's back and she's more cringe than ever. Let's talk about it.
Polish people are taking a liking to one of JoJo's songs. Apparently her song, Yesterday's Tomorrow's Today, has been performing pretty well in the country. Also, keep in mind that the song Yesterday's Tomorrow's Today is the exact same song that JoJo Siwa was knowingly touching herself to in front of kids on stage.
There's a 6-year-old right there. Why the f are you here? I love it.
Now, in case you're not familiar with this woman, we've actually done a video that touched on her in the past. She is a drug addict, attention-seeking whore who can't go 2 seconds without being a perverted mess. She is bent on changing the game when it comes to being outlandish. It appears she's forgotten the fact that many people have actually blazed this trail and done it better, by the way, in the past. Unfortunately, she's just another young, attention-seeking follower who will hopefully live long enough to regret all of these decisions that she's currently making. Now, in case you're really not familiar with who this is, I'll give you a quick recap. JoJo Siwa, aka JoJo Siwa, was born in Omaha, Nebraska in 2023. She and her mother appeared on a reality television show called Dance Moms when she was younger, and the audience came to know her by her brightly colored hair bows and happy-go-lucky attitude. She later on signed with Nickelodeon and also appeared in various shows and films, including Blurt with Jace Norman and Lip Sync Battle Shorties with Nick Cannon. She's also released several children's songs along the way, with all of these previously mentioned milestones solidifying her public image as a child star. However, Siwa is trying to break out of that mold in any way that she possibly can, whether that's pouring liquor down her throat on stage, dressing like a prostitute, humping women on abandoned beaches, or naming her vagina Frank the Tank.
So Haley's vagina is named Big Martha.
Okay.
Do you have a name for yours?
Frank.
Frank the Tank.
And that's only the tip of the iceberg for JoJo Siwa. While this so-called woman openly prefers women as well as identifies as one, at the same time, she really acts like she wants to be a man.
My girlfriend explains it really well. I have dick energy.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against anybody who wants to identify in a certain way. I can't tell people how to think or what to think. While I certainly will not bow to anyone's pronouns, I will also not go out of my way to insult someone for how they want to live. You leave me alone and I'll leave you alone, basically. But in Miss Siwa's case, whether it's the constant humping of inanimate objects or the objectification of females, this woman has basically become an unhinged, cringy female version of a predatory male. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, just take a look at this.
People are disgusted with JoJo Siwa after she wouldn't stop looking at this interviewer's cleavage the entire interview. And every time the interviewer looks away, she sneaks a look at the interviewer's cleavage, and you can see it happens right here, and it happens about 10 more times. And this has led people to say that, look, whether you're a guy or a girl, if you're objectifying someone like this, especially during an interview, that is unacceptable. I think this whole situation is absolutely disgusting, and I'm sure in JoJo Siwa's mind, she thought it'd make her seem like more of an adult than a kid, but honestly, I feel like acting like this around an interviewer is absolutely trashy. But that's my opinion. What do y'all think about this?
If this was a man doing this to a woman, I tell you, the world would be having a field day. Absolutely sickening. What on earth allows for this woman to get away with objectifying this poor reporter in this fashion? Now, don't get me wrong, I do understand that many of you are in the comments are going to say that this woman could have wore a less revealing dress for this interview. But at the same time, I don't think it's particularly revealing, especially with the way that people have been dressing these days. But regardless of whether or not you consider this to be an appropriate outfit for a public setting, I don't believe that the way JoJo is drooling and salivating all over this woman is appropriate whatsoever. Again, if this was a man, what would happen to his career? Let me know in the comments. Constant perversion is what this woman is about. Have you ever seen any of her music videos? Let's hope the answer to that is no, and I'll apologize in advance for forcing them upon you like this. But this is for your own good, ladies and gentlemen. This is to show you what the world is like these days and how you can protect yourself from it. Don't allow this type of garbage to penetrate your skulls. You're not crazy. It is in fact cringe, and you need to protect yourself and your family from things like this. Now, don't get me wrong, I do understand the perils and consequences of being a child star. We've seen many examples of child stars losing it, and that's likely because of the stress and overall lifestyle that they are forced to live many times by their greedy parents. But this is not an excuse. JoJo Siwa is an adult at this point, and she's completely open about the fact that she's going out of her way to grab people's attention in the absolute most cringiest ways possible.
This moment of making it very clear that we are going from child star to adult artist is very important to me, and I have wanted to take my time to make sure this moment is as perfect as possible.
I've been really bloated today.
This woman is a narcissistic, pathological liar, and that could be really dangerous for anyone who doesn't realize that this is the case.
It was going viral in Poland, and then someone was like, are you going to do this on Eurovision? And I initially jokingly replied to the comment saying yes, but now it's actually become a real conversation, and Eurovision's into it. We're talking with the people in Poland.
But the funny thing about this is that right after JoJo Siwa said all this, Polish broadcaster TVP, which is involved in choosing the country's Eurovision acts, came forward saying it wasn't speaking to artists and hadn't made any decisions about 2025.
I don't like iced coffee. I'm an espresso gal. Obviously that's referencing Sabrina Carpenter's song. Remember a few months ago when Karma became the most disliked music video in 2024 and she reacted all happy about it just to show people that she wasn't hurting inside? Well, she's done something similar about a TikTok comment that she got, which she tried to play it off as if it was funny, but you could tell she was just melting away inside. And that comment is, hi, your song saved me. I've been suffering from severe depression episode. When Karma / iced coffee came on the radio, I got out of my bed for the first time in 3 months to turn it off.
I look like shit right now because I'm working out, but this, I have been getting this comment since Karma came out, which was April 5th. Baby, it's November, almost December. Find a new joke.
In a recent interview, JoJo Siwa was talking about her song being a rip-off version of Sabrina Carpenter's, and apparently, according to JoJo, her song was made 2 years ago, and it was written 3 years ago.
I have a new song, Iced Coffee.
I do.
But tell me all about it. But can I just say, this is so the internet has called it, and I'm not saying it is, but the internet, they love to, you know,
Yep.
red flag
Yep.
taped to a bull.
Of course.
They called it the Timu Espresso.
And honestly, Timu is madly successful.
It's
So you
huge.
know what?
And
Clock
Timu
my
is
teeth.
huge.
Thank you.
Timu is huge. Tell me
Yeah.
about iced coffee because we're going to unpack the lyrics.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Great. Love it. No, Iced Coffee. I actually worked on this song like 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's not the Timu Espresso
it's-
because she was there first.
Yeah, it was not about. But honestly, realistically, with Espresso, that probably might be the same case with Sabrina. Like songs take a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just don't f***ing believe it. Like the whole thing with Karma as well, not actually being for JoJo Siwa. It was originally written for Miley Cyrus. JoJo Siwa never mentioned that. And now claiming that Iced Coffee was written 3 years ago. That is the most full of shit thing I've ever heard in my life. And it really took you 3 years to write this song, and this is the best you could come up with? Like the way you are grinding my bean? And anyway, I think there's no debating that she ripped Sabrina Carpenter off.
Be safe out there in this crazy world, my dear friends. Follow good sources of information that have your best interest at heart, and don't be afraid to use your good judgment and logic regardless of what the JoJo Siwas of the world are trying to shove down your throat. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you at the next video.